After completing Schoolgirl Zombie Hunter, the subject attempted to drink himself to death. Failing this, he checked himself into a hospital the following day. Patient number DD800854 was diagnosed with terminal depression. He died in hospital 3 days later. Project Schoolgirl Zombie Hunter was deemed a success. Before the subject died, he left the following message.
Tarks Gauntlet.
Schoolgirl Zombie Hunter is a 2017 third-person shooter with a heavy amount of fan service, developed by Tamsoft and published by Axis and D3. If the game looks familiar at all, you may have played Tamsoft's sister series Onechanbara. While Onechanbara has had some real bad misses in the series, it also had Onechanbara Z2 Chaos, a game I admittedly enjoyed to some degree, despite its flaws. Tamsoft has had a few years to develop as a company since then, so it only makes sense that Schoolgirl Zombie Hunter would be an improvement over Z2 Chaos. At least, I thought it would be an improvement. Boy, was I wrong. I'm going to do my best to keep a rational and calm demeanor while I talk about this game, but for the first time in many years, the process of actually seeing a game through to completion has legitimately pissed me off. I can put up with a lot of shit in games, and at the very most they will frustrate or annoy me. Up until now, I had assumed I was past the part in my life where I get angry at video games. Schoolgirl Zombie Hunter made me feel like a kid in the worst way possible, like a child who could no longer control his temper. It's hard to give any amount of energy to anything involving this game anymore, but I'll try to do my best to express how it all fell apart to me, so let's get into this. At the onset of the game, our cast of air-headed silicone Barbie dolls are at their school when a zombie outbreak happens seemingly out of nowhere. The girls band together to survive and discover the source of the outbreak in hopes of putting a stop to it. And that's the entirety of the story. I never got through this section of a review so fast in my life. Our girls aren't exactly the most interesting cast in the world. It's clear with the dialogue they try to get you to care about them, but it's so hard when they have almost no discernible personalities or character traits. I can't insult buttered bread and compare their blandness to that, but maybe it's comparable to a sheet of cardboard without any butter at all. The game takes place in 2 stages. One stage is the school, and the other stage is a sort of catacomb beneath the school. In most missions, you will only be able to access certain portions of these stages at a time, making it feel like there is a bit of variety, but they are just 2 stages at the end of all things, and will get very old very quickly. Gameplay is simple. It's a third-person shooter with dedicated buttons for shooting, using items, reloading, rolling, melee attacks, and running. The basic set of affairs. Before missions, you can choose costumes and gun loadouts. With the exception of the SMGs and shotguns, I found most weapons borderline useless, or at least useless in comparison. The game does one cool thing in regards to its mechanics though. If your girl is wearing clothes, you can strip them mid-battle and leave them on the ground as a decoy for the zombies to chase after. Aside from the physical copy of this game coming with a manual, that might be the best thing I have to say in regards to it. Using the tricks I just mentioned, you will journey through 5 chapters comprised of 5 to 7 missions each before the game ends. The game runs approximately 6 hours in length, with optional submissions if you desire more content. You won't desire more content though, just trust me on that one. The game being 6 hours actually works in its favor. Normally this short runtime wouldn't be a benefit in a game like this, but that's 6 hours you could spend doing something better with your life, like tightly wrapping barbed wire around your dick. That's 6 hours you won't have to tightly wrap barbed wire around your dick. I know what I would rather be doing with my time. And it's not playing Schoolgirl Zombie Hunter. Mission types do offer a little bit of variety. Some missions simply require you to reach a destination. Some require you to take out a certain amount of zombies to win, and others will require you to defend a base until the timer runs out. The base defense levels were my favorite. By favorite, I don't mean they were fun, but they were the least bad. The only thing that separated this mission type from others is that it allowed you to make good use of your tripwires, and the enemies actually felt like a real threat in a way that wasn't the result of their bad mechanics. All of this so far sounds simple enough. This is the game in its entirety. I bet even looking at the gameplay it doesn't look so bad. If this is how you feel so far, I don't blame you. What could have been a fun parody of B-grade horror schlock was ultimately obliterated with horrible controls, bad translation, and bad AI. It's not all apparent off the bat, but I'll try to walk you through just a few of its frustrations. If you played Onechanbara, you may remember the bad enemy AI and how some enemies would actually spawn outside of your walled off battle areas. Sadly, this is still a problem here. Enemies generally run around aimlessly or beeline toward you with no regards to environmental obstacles between you and them. Before you reach the halfway point of the game, the enemies are no threat at all. One mission in particular just required me to survive until the time ran out. For fun, I'd done this without attacking or using the run button. I easily beat the mission this way. Your partner AI, sadly, is no better than the enemies. Half the time in battle, they won't look at or engage the enemies. I can put up with this, but what I couldn't put up with was them not engaging the player. Sometimes the girls will all pile up in front of the only door you can exit a room through, and the game is coded in a way that you can't walk through or around these girls. Since the girls seem to think you're a ghost, they just block you in. It's possible to bait them back into the room and then exit, but it's just a general annoyance and can mean a cheap death in a bad situation. Guys, come on. Come on, get out of the way. I need to get out of this room. Oh boy. Okay, I'll lead you all back in. Yep, now let me get around. Move, please move. I need to get out. Oh, nope, she's still in the way. Enemies are the same way. They are solid objects that running or rolling at will not allow you to get by. A streamer you guys should check out named BattleAthlete saw the end of his playthrough when he ran into this issue.
Oh, I've been doing good, Roman. Other than the fact I'm about to die. Oh my god, get the fuck out of here! Stop! In the arms of the This game sucks.
So let's look at the problems with the controls. First off, the default control mapping is garbage. If you do play this game, change these immediately. When you fire at an enemy, your characters enter a new stance and changes her speed to a very slow walk. This does help with aiming with a control stick, but the game already has an aim down sights function for this, why have two? The aim down sights changes your stance and speed even further and is such a pain to use, it almost becomes completely useless. Why must action be a slow crawl anytime you need to fire your gun? You can't run and gun in this, you can't even briskly walk and gun. But the problems don't stop there. One of the biggest annoyances for me control-wise, and this isn't something you'd be able to tell just watching gameplay, is that if you need to stop shooting and run, there is a massive delay between the two actions. First, the bullets stop. The character pauses, exits the stance, and then begins to run. I want you to watch this clip here and know that as soon as the bullets stop leaving my gun, the button to run is already held down. Pay attention to how long this delay is, and you'll understand how much of a detriment controls are in this game. And delays like this are all over the place. Half of the characters have melee attacks that are rendered useless because of this exact delay problem. There was a few points when aiming at a zombie on the ceiling, my character would actually be hitting a zombie nowhere near where my gun or reticle was even pointing. I don't understand how this one happens at all. The best excuse I can think for this is that the game doesn't understand its own aiming system, or that another issue I consider a huge flaw is even worse than I anticipated. The accuracy of the guns is 100% based on RNG. Nothing irritates me more as a player than having direct control of my actions be co-opted by a random number generator. If I am aiming at a zombie, when I fire, my skill level dictates I should hit that zombie. Interrupting this simple concept with RNG is absolutely maddening, and quite frankly, a completely stupid design choice. The enemy designs are overall lazy and uninspired. I did enjoy the look of this one enemy, but he was really the only one. Even the boss designs don't stand out. There are a few bosses in the game, but only 2 of them are not reskins of the main characters. The translation? I'd like to say this is what we've come to expect from bad Axis translations. But this one is even worse than their average bad job, showing signs of incompetency in the first few minutes. Knock back foes around. Foes around is one word. But it will greatly deplete, also one word. The main characters, as described earlier, are almost all silicone-like. Similar to Barbie dolls, it's kind of uncanny valley and a bit discomforting. On certain angles, sure, they have some assets you can appreciate, but don't look at their faces too long, don't stare into their eyes, don't stare into their eyes, don't stare into their eyes, don't stare into their eyes. About halfway through the game, you get a feature that allows you to send the girls to their shower, and this comes with a little cutscene. Guys, I'm gonna ask you to do something crazy here. Don't make decisions with your penis, alright? It's not worth it. The game's resolution and frame rate are usually fine. If a lot of zombies are spawned, the game will slow down, but it's nothing too crazy. The actual textures and visuals outside of the girls are pretty poor. The voice acting isn't terrible and the music isn't either, but they don't stand out in the slightest. If the controls and camera weren't so damn broken, I could see myself having some degree of fun with this, but they are seriously so intolerable I can safely say that at no point during this game did I feel even the slightest bit of fun. This game will have some defenders, you know, they always do. But I put in my effort, I beat the game that everybody else I know has quit, and this is honestly how I feel. From beginning to end, there was absolutely nothing redeeming about Schoolgirl Zombie Hunter. If you don't believe it, you can go ahead, give it a try. Don't say you haven't been warned. I didn't think we would get a game worse than Drive Girls in 2017, but in my opinion, they went and done it. Not only is Schoolgirl Zombie Hunter the worst game I've played this year, it's the worst game I've played in several years. And I'm gonna leave it at that, guys. Sorry if this review wasn't the most entertaining this time around. This game literally has me feeling like a zombie after playing it. If this video helped you guys out at all, you know the deal. Like, comment, subscribe, share it if you can. As always, thanks for watching. And I got a lot of drinking to do, and not a lot of time before morning.
Everyone warned me about this game before I played it. Everyone warned me before I played it. They said, I don't know, man, I'm not really enjoying it. That was not my fault, guys. I couldn't see anything. There was a zombie blocking my running path, and everything is so delayed. Like, I hit the melee attack to hit it to get it out of my way, and I couldn't shoot it because the camera kept on going straight up for no reason. I wasn't tilting the camera. It's bullshit, and I died. I think I'm willing to say at this point, this game is garbo. This game is unfinished garbo. I wasted my money, chat. I think it's safe to say, I wasted my money. I hope you guys know not to waste your money, because it's $40.